Alright, so Master Jordan has entered the chat.
I have.
Again.
Welcome. Nice meeting you, by the way.
Nice meeting you too.
They just met each other. I don't know if you guys saw that. I think they might have seen it.
Maybe. He did fully debunk my Benjamin Button backstory. I'm an undefeated.
Yeah.
It's based off a short story. It's like
the short story was called I'm an undefeated.
Definitely not true. Definitely not true.
Where are you getting your facts?
Dude, it's based off.
Facts don't care about.
Dude, the guy. Okay, it's written by the guy who wrote The Great Gatsby. It's a short story. I'm dead serious.
You're telling me there was no fetus old man? There wasn't really not based on a
It was a short
person,
story. It's always based on a real person. It's based on a short story. The short story is called The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. And it's about like a guy who's like born old and
Look, he's
dies a baby.
And then he becomes an old man fetus.
He dies as a baby.
But the fetus can make
What is with this Italian accent?
I don't know. I think he busted it out.
There's like zero Italians in the entire movie.
I'm always like, if I have any opportunity to Italianize some dumbass, that, you know, they're the old Mario.
No, we were just talking about onomatopoeias. So we started saying it'd be funny if, like, if a baby tried to go into the bar, like, I'm not a fetus, and he had, like, a big, like, Italian mustache. Like a meatball guy mustache, like marinara maker. Or whatever.
Like he came in one of these coats like I got on. It was just like, hey, what's it like in a
Not
Little
so big,
Rascals?
more like a
Do you remember-
fetus size.
Do you remember the Little Rascals when he
He is a fetus.
He's a fetus with a mustache. He's like, I'm not a fetus. So we were just laughing about that. But yeah, we know it wasn't really part of the movie Benjamin Button.
I'm glad you do actually know about it. Where it came from.
I listened to it the other day. Like I listen to books on tape all the time. I listen to that story. Yeah, the movie's obviously way better than the story. But yeah, it's really like a short story.
I never even saw the movie.
Oh no!
I just see a little fetus old man. I said, oh, I don't want to be a fetus.
You gotta see the movie. It's a good movie.
It's a pretty good movie.
It's like really sad. He's born. Literally, they're like, he's born, and they're like, his dad's like, what the fuck? And like, it's a baby, but it's got like wrinkles.
It's a me.
It's like an old man baby.
Oh, it's a man.
It's like so wild.
Oh no, it's not a baby.
It's like this baby-sized old man, and then it's.
But you say it's another fetus.
No, it's not a fetus. It's born, but it's like an old man baby. And then it dies as a baby, like an actual baby. It's really sad.
So you see a fetus 4 times.
One time it's a baby. One time it's a man. One time it's an old man. And one time it's a fetus.
That's what I'm thinking. It's a 4-time fetus.
It's not a fetus anymore.
Hey, after your first fetus, you don't remember me anymore.
I don't know what's being talked about anymore.
Nothing really.
Nothing.
Nothing really.
So what'd you just watch?
Oh, you would have loved it. It was called The Banshees of Inisherin.
I've heard good things.
And like I was watching.
Banshees inside of
No. The Banshees of Inisherin, which I was like didn't know what it was, but it's this island off the coast of Ireland.
Yeah. Is it real?
I'm sure it's real. I'm sure it's a real place. Ireland. Yeah,
When everybody nobody had confirmed that they had looked it up, but
I mean, we could probably look it up right now. I've never heard of it before, but
it's real.
It's like, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it is. I mean, Ireland isn't Ireland isn't Ireland. Ireland is an island, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think there's
so it was one of the
multiple-
other islands off the coast of Ireland.
I think there's multiple.
Yeah. So it's one of those. It's with Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, who played. Have you ever seen Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Have you seen Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, where there's like the big like it's like one of the best ones where there's.
I've seen them all.
Yeah, so you know about the one where it's like the tournament with the other schools, the rival schools.
Yeah.
He's in that one. He plays like the guy with like the weird eye.
The weird eye guy.
Yeah. So he's like an Irish actor. Colin Farrell's in it. They're two best buds. It's like Brandon Gleeson chooses not to be his friend anymore for like the most ridiculous reason. Basically, they're all it's this small Irish island where everyone drinks and stuff, but like Brandon Gleeson goes through like this identity crisis where he's like, what am I doing with my life? I'm just like talking to this guy Colin Farrell, and all this guy Colin Farrell talks about is nothing. And he first like just cuts him off like right in the movie, and like Colin Farrell has no idea what the fuck to do with himself because it's like he has nothing else going for him. I mean, meanwhile the Brandon Gleeson guy is like a really good like violin player, and you know they don't got much to do going on in Ireland, so he's like fiddling away, blah blah blah. He's like, bro, if you literally don't leave me alone, I'm gonna cut off one of my fingers. Mm. And he's like, but why? Like, well, he like literally won't leave him alone. Starts cutting off his own fingers. It's so dark. Like,
this guy's nagging him.
Yeah, the guy's nagging him because he doesn't want to be around because he wants to be able to, I guess, like have a legacy, right? Like he has no kids or anything like that.
But it's like
but he's a really good fiddle player, so he's like, I could be like doing so much more better things with my time than talking to you. And Colin Farrell just like can't. He's like beside himself. He really like loves him or whatever. I guess. I mean, they must have had like some sort of long history before the movie starts, right?
When they were fetuses.
They were fetuses, exactly. And it's just it's like very funny, like the kind of humor. It's like you, Scott, you would totally love it. Like you would be cracking up the whole time because the jokes are very dry.
I've heard it's like some weird dark comedy.
Yeah,
like
very dark comedy,
shit,
dry humor. He's like, what do you mean you're not talking to me? He's like, I can't be bothered with you anymore. And he's like, what you talking
about? It's not bad.
Try it.
You know, Colin Farrell.
I'm just trying to do like a good Irish accent, you know, and Colin Farrell's like, what are you talking about? Whatever. Like, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it was really good. I never even heard about it until I watched the Golden Globes the other day, and it won like all the awards.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah.
Very
so
cool. I had a buddy, at work like a week I think before the Globes that was just raving about it.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
like you were kind of describing. I ended up seeing a trailer for it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
One of these days, I'm not in a rush.
Yeah. That's good. Maybe we can find it. Like we can watch it here at home, Scott. It's really good. I think you would really like it. I think you would be like cracking up about it.
I'd like to give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What strain is this, by the way?
This is a split.
Oh, Splifferino.
I'm gonna check. Oh my water. That's it. Boiling. That was fun.
But I'll probably grab North Cake.
North Cake.
Yeah, I like that North Cake. I like Wall though.
Yeah, dude. How can you not like them all? Except for maybe like the little jar where you said it's still curing.
Yeah, I just put that in a jar yesterday.
You know?
The other stuff's been curing for like 3 weeks or something. Maybe a month.
This shit's so sticky.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were a fetus trying to break that shit up.
I'm not a fetus.
But imagine if you were. How much different in your life would be if you're a fetus?
Dude, what? Okay, so if you get born and like when you're say you get born again, like reincarnation or whatever, and you know you have full knowledge of the whole world from before, but you don't know how to use your fucking arms and mouth and shit yet, so you're just like, man, I really wish I could fucking climb up that cabinet and go eat some fucking cookies, but all you could do is like. What do you think the most frustrating part about being a baby with like full intelligence?
You say, I'm not a fetus. You're saying one of these scenarios, right, where you're not a fetus, but you are. And
you're a baby.
Say
you're a year and a half.
Yeah.
No. No, because then you can
You're
go
a
around and
preemie.
do stuff. But
You're
then,
a preemie.
then I think you start forgetting all your knowledge once you start identifying being the new baby. But I think when you're like brand new baby, you're like, my name's Jack and I'm 57 and I work on Corvettes and I don't know how to use my fucking hands yet and talk, but shit, You're just overwhelmed with emotions because of your brain chemistry and shit.
Oh yeah, you might probably have suffered sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS, right? Yeah,
You might.
SIDS, and that's maybe where that comes from. A 45-year-old mechanic wakes up as a fetus, basically, because who knows when life begins, but his ended in the shop.
Yeah.
The car fell on him. He's dead. But then this fetus just got its life, and then he wakes up as a fetus, and then he says, I'm not a fucking fetus. And he basically has a brain aneurysm heart attack. We figured out SIDS.
SIDS, oh my god, yeah.
People
Sudden
wake up,
death syndrome.
and then you get recycled through the thing.
Like say you
the
get
system.
reincarnated and
And you wake up as a fetus, and you are just so
you
fucking
remember
freaked
your
out.
whole life, but you don't know how to use your fucking arms and hands and anything, or your mouth. So you just have a fucking heart attack because you're like, I'm 53 years old. What am I doing being a baby?
I'm not a fucking fetus.
I'm trying to understand what you're saying. SIDS is sudden infant death syndrome.
So you know
What's
the
that?
reincarnation life cycle.
Yeah.
You die. Let's say in some really fucking grotesque manner. We had a scenario where
Why does it have to be a grotesque manner?
Well, because it's traumatic, and you don't get to have peace and say goodbye. So like your soul is like your auto mechanic got the car fell on your head.
Yeah.
And then so then you wake up reincarnated, but as this fetus, and you never said goodbye to your life. You said, "I'm not a fucking I'm not a fetus," and you have a heart attack, brain aneurysm as a fetus. They say, "Oh, SIDS."
Or as a baby. Yeah.
So it's like SIDS is
Like
giving someone that peace if you died unpeacefully. Is that what you're saying?
Potentially,
That
this is a working
or
theory.
like when you're born,
It's a working
when you're born,
hypothesis.
you remember your whole previous life, and before you get attached to your new identity.
dude, no one remembers anything when they're first born. You don't remember.
That's what you think.
You don't. So you're telling me you remember the moment you were born?
No,
You
but I'm
can't,
saying
like,
the
do anything
University of Virginia
Yeah.
studied 5,000 reincarnation cases from all over the world, and like half of them rang true, and a lot of them were babies saying, "I was murdered. My name's not Michelle. It's Brittany. You can find my body here."
Yeah.
If they
I
got
heard about that.
if they got hit in the head with the axe, that's where they have a fucking birthmark.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah.
So we're saying,
I've heard about stuff like that.
but then the kids stop remembering their previous lives once they turn like 3 to 5.
Why is that?
Because they now identify with the new name and stuff.
They've accepted being a fetus.
Wait. So they forget everything that happened. By the time you turn 3 to 5, they forget everything that happened in their past life.
Yeah.
Well, then they are who they are. Okay, wait. If they forget, then I guess why do they forget? Why doesn't it stick with them? That's
Because
one question.
Because you're growing and like identifying your new body with this new world. And
Except
You're like getting acclimated into like who you are.
Somebody calls you
Okay. Like no, that's not you. That's okay.
You're not in World War II anymore. You're playing with blocks. And
Yeah. Like, grow up, Steven. You're not a World War II fighter pilot. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. That makes sense.
sometimes they figure it out.
Dude, that's why I heard that this new Barbie movie is going to be about. Like, it's
What?
going to be like. I heard it's going to be like Barbie realizes she's a doll, and she's like, "What the fuck? I'm a